All right. Here I am. Here I'm done, gone, and is. All right, let's make sure we got it all easy on the eyes here. So far, so good. So good so far. Let me scoot over some. Let me scoot up some. As soon as I get caught up with the delay, we'll see what's happening here. And yeah, that's okay, I reckon. I'm not 100% happy with it. Let's see. Just the question would be, can you ever achieve 100% happiness? I don't know. I think so. I think there are instances where you can. All right, there we go. That looks good. That looks good now. That looks good. I think I liked it better the other way. Y'all are like, man, we ain't ever gonna get this break on through. Oh, JC having to rearrange and interior decorate and everything. All right, now I think we're good. Let's see who all's in here. John Ross, Adam Wolf, Clayton. Clayton, I'm going to need you to get a link ready for me from YouTube. The real meaning of Thanksgiving. We'll get into that in a little bit. Willie says this stocking cap is bad artists. Well, Willie, man, you could be styling around your town and getting down by going to Antiseen store.bcartel.com. We got 3 styles. 3 different styles. Yeah, has everybody had a good week or so since I saw you last? Almost 2 weeks now, I reckon. Yeah, Willie, we can't wait for that milestone show. Man, that's not this coming weekend, but the following weekend, December 5th and 6th, man, a double shot of anti-sting like you've never seen. December 5th, we'll be at Reggie's 42nd Street Tavern in Wilmington, North Carolina. December 6th will be right here on the home turf at the world famous Milestone Club down on beautiful Tuckasegee Road. And we're going to have a good time. Going to have a funky good time. There's my man, Michael Lacey. Looking forward to meeting you too, Michael. And I'll be talking about the event where I am finally going to meet you in person in just a little bit. I got a few other things to talk about first. Now, there's Mr. Terry Myers. That could mean that Amy Lynn is close by. Is that right? All right. Now, I got some good topics to discuss today, but the first one, I just put my break on through brew down, but I'm going to pick it back up again because we are going to drink a toast in memory of Mr. Jimmy Cliff. Now, if you don't know who that is now, I don't know what to say. Bob Marley gets the credit, rightfully so, for pretty much catapulting reggae into the States. But I gotta tell you this, there were a few others you know, like that were blazing the trail first. One, a name you don't hear very often, and that is Johnny Nash. Not Johnny Cash, Johnny Nash. In the early and into the mid-'70s, he was doing, he did a version of I Can See Clearly Now, the Rain Is Gone. Am I right about that? I think I am. But he definitely did Stir It Up, a Whaler song, which he had a top 40 hit with probably around 73, I'm guessing. 73, I think. But these were big songs, man. And that's what got that reggae. It wasn't the true reggae sound, but it was enough to let the American music buying public know that it was something a bit different. And also at the blazing that little trail was Jimmy Cliff. He was already making hit records down in Jamaica in the 60s, and you know, like they blazed this trail into America, but then here came Bob Marley with a big Mack truck and just went so. But they paved the way, and Jimmy Cliff was an amazing songwriter, an amazing singer. My pal Robert Everett made a post today or yesterday, I don't know which, but about talking about the impact that the soundtrack called The Harder They Come, which was a movie starring Jimmy Cliff, playing a character, but kind of playing himself at the same time. And I think it's a fantastic movie. And the thing that's even the best thing about the movie to me is the soundtrack. And if you know anything about this stuff, you know that whenever we pull something out of the air, whether it be a cover, a sample, in other words, we're not going to cover Folsom Prison Blues or Ace of Spades or I don't know what else. Mama, Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. That's not our style. On one of our records, and I don't even remember which one it was, I think it may have been, someone just mentioned it, the 7-inch EP of Exploding Barbed Wire Deathmatch. We have a sample on there from that movie where Prince Buster says, "Sit tight and listen keenly while I play for you a brand new musical biscuit." Actually, no, that wasn't from there. That was on Bad Will Ambassadors. But we used another sample from that movie. This was on Bad Will Ambassadors. No. Man, I need to break on through brew. This was also from the film The Harder They Come, when the record company guy tells him, hey, you know, and actually I think we used DJ Scotty's version of it, but it says, hey, you know, I decide, you know, who's a hit. I tell the DJs what to play, you see, you know, that kind of stuff. But so yeah, well, I've been into Jimmy Cliff for a long, long time, and one of the things that's really, really outstanding about that soundtrack is you not only got Jimmy Cliff all over it, you got the Slickers, you got Toots and the Maytals. Gosh, I should have had it right here in front of me so I could have been more thorough. But this is before reggae, or around the time it was kind of coming in at the same time, but before the whole Rastafarian thing blended with it and kind of, you know, overtook it. These guys were still singing R&B and to that reggae sound, you know, and Jimmy Cliff proved he was not just a great reggae singer, he was a great R&B/soul singer. And as my buddy Robbie said, Toots. from Toots and the Maytals as well. Man, just check it out. It's a very cheap investment. It's on CD. It's been repressed on albums hundreds of times. It's called The Harder They Come. It's got a great cover. And I guarantee you, if you're just you don't have to be a diehard into reggae and know all the ins and outs, of it. If you're just a casual fan or you just want to check out something new, I cannot recommend it enough. Now, we drink to you, Mr. Jimmy Cliff. Right. Another great one gone. But through the music, they stay with us forever. Speaking of another great one, this one's still with us. Abdullah the Butcher. January 10th. Down there around Atlanta town. Now, I got 2 shows coming up, so I don't want to be pushing too much on the site at one time. But once those shows are in the clear and out of here, you're going to have to be living under 7 rocks before, if you won't hear of this Abdullah the Butcher's 84th birthday party. And I'll tell y'all, it ain't going to be a memorial. He's going to be there. Man, there is going... Now, they're saying it's a black tie event, but I confirmed with Queen Malika yesterday. You do not have to wear tuxedos. But there's going to be a Q&A with the Butcher himself. And, man, it's going to be a great thing. It's going to be a historic thing. I urge all of our audience, either there or in a 400-mile radius, to come and celebrate Abdullah the Butcher's 84th birthday. Like I said, all the information will be posted on our site, my personal site, Malcolm's, Walt's. Like I said, you got to be living under 19 rocks before you don't know what's happening with the Abdullah the Butcher 84th birthday. We'd love to see you all there. And the great thing about it is we're going to see Abby there. Thank you, Lord. I already talked about the shows in December. Y'all want to play a quick game? Now, I'm going to have to do color commentary, because when this video gets kicked off of Facebook in 30 days, and it goes to, well, it's going to go to YouTube tonight, because Clinton Zilla is just that good. But I'll do a color commentary, a running commentary, and we'll see. We're going to play a game of blank or blank. It's a very easy game to play. I'm going to start the first question. I don't know how many we'll do. I'm going to do 4 or something. But the first one's going to be a real, it can get real heated sometime. The Beatles or the Rolling Stones? Let's go. Let's go. Come on, I want to see y'all come on in here. You got to, in other words, you got to tell me something, and at the end of this, I will tell you what my preference is. I'm not going to tell you first. Actually, I got the idea from Brian Dunlap, and here he shows up. Brian Dunlap of October. A great rockin' teenage combo. All right, here we go. Erica, I can't never say that last name, but let's see what we got here. Stones. I'm gonna write them down and keep score. Beatles, Stones. Stones. Beatles. Stones. Jennifer Crawford, the Beatle fan. Amy Lynn says neither. That's the old spirit. Let's see. Beatle. Surprisingly, the Beatles. Okay. Well, you know what? Ross also says neither. Wesley Dixon says both. Both is not an option, Wesley. You had to pick one. All right, here's some more coming in. Greg Crawford says Stones. More Stones. More Stones. Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and cut the entries on this one. So far, we're looking like Rolling Stones are the winner in this round, and I'm going to have to throw it over the top and say Stones. Now, think about when you do these contests, people think, oh, if you say Stones, you don't like the Beatles. Not true. Love the Beatles. Love them. Here's one we may not have as many participants in, because in order to participate, you will have had to have seen, maybe even a couple times, Urban Cowboy. So this round, the question is, Sissy or Pam? Come on, hit it. All right, I'm going to get some more. On that Beatles Stones, Terry Myers is going with neither. They're still coming in for Beatles and Stones are still wiping the floor. All right. So, Sissy or Pam? What's it going to be? I mean, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. Hey, Amy Lynn finally, I guess Terry was twisting her arm and she finally said the Stones. All right, here we go with Sissy and Pam. All right, we got a Pam from Clintonzilla. We got a Sissy from Willie Lipsey. Don Buchanan says Sissy, no doubt. Michael Carpenter says Pam. Jennifer saying she don't know who. Ross says Sissy. What's going on? We're working here. Make sure I didn't skip any. I did skip some. There's another Sissy. There's another Pam. All right, let's see what we got now. Sissy, get off that horse. Patrick S. Mitchell saying both, man. That's being greedy there, ain't it, son? Let's see, Sissy. Well, in this round, Sissy just did a pile driver through a flaming table of light tubes and thumbtacks on Pam. Which, I'll tell you, I'll cast my vote. I'm a Pam man. All right. All right, well, let's try another one here. I know what I'm going to do for the last one. The last one's a doozy. Man, you could see fist fights start over this one. But I want to get one before that. You know what? I can't even think of one. So I'm going to go ahead and do the last one now. Ginger or Mary Ann? Come on, go. Hey, I bet most of y'all know my vote on this one. And again, it all comes down to when you lean one way, people think, oh, you don't like not the case. Come on, Ginger or Marianne. We may have done this before on a little break on through. I don't know. I'm gonna have to put on my thinking cap. Ever heard of product placement? All right, here they come. Oh boy! All right, let's try to get this one. I'm trying to get as accurate as I can on this one. There's a vote for Marianne. Another vote from Miss Ann. Ginger. Marianne, Ginger. Marianne. I'm really crazy about you. Do what I can. Y'all know where that came from? Ross says Mrs. Howell. Oh man, it's neck and neck with this one. All right, there we go. Let's see. Marianne. Ginger. Marianne. All right. Let me count them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, it's a tie. At this point right here, it is a tie. 7-7. Old JC is getting ready to break that tie by saying Ginger. All right. So that was a game of blank or blank. Man, I got a story to tell y'all. You know, I've told you all like some pretty funny stories of things we've done. You know, when I say we, I mean in the 42 years of Antiseen existing, we've done some pretty crazy and some pretty stupid things. But there's also a subcategory of things we almost did, and thank God we didn't. All right, my man Mondo is trying to say, what's your game and can anybody play? See, he's thinking that's Marianne. It's Carrie-Ann. Hey, Carrie-Ann, what's your game now? Can anybody play? Oh, the votes are still coming in, and Ginger's still mopping the floor here. Well, she wasn't mopping the floor before I broke the tie. But anyway, back to the story. You know, things that we considered doing, planned on doing, and only by divine intervention and protection did we not quite get there. Well, I've told you the story about when Tom O'Keefe and I, and this is before Tom played in the band, but we were overseeing having a flash pot made, because in the early days, and some even in the later day, we were using working class right here. We were using Pyro-technics at our shows, and we wanted something powerful. You know, it's not just something with. I mean, now, don't get me wrong. We have done explosions that have actually caused like little shock waves, and that, you know, did some damage. But we were looking for something that would just rattle the place to pieces, because growing up when we did in the Carolinas, and then especially in Charlotte, we heard a legendary tale about Bootsy Collins. Man, everybody talked about, because back then it was Kiss, Parliament, all that. Everyone having the big show. Not everyone, but a lot of them having the big show. And one thing the Parliament fans could always say, man, Bootsy's Rubber Band played the Park Center, and man, they had black powder bombs. Now, see, I know what that means now. I didn't know what that meant back then. When I'm looking for something that would be capable. Oh boy, working class is tough, brother. Something that would be capable of doing what I envisioned it doing. Now, these were flash pots that were screw-on tubes. And man, apparently they had some big ones. And they packed those things, man. And when they went off, it made a boom so loud that it shattered the glass in the lobby. In the front doors. Just fell. Now, as time went on, the story evolved and evolved and evolved. And it turned, man, Bootsy comes out, comes walking out on stage with the platforms, the star bass, the big star sunglasses, hits that note, bam, and every window in the Park Center got busted out. Well, I don't think it was that severe, but you know how that works. As the story goes on, you add a little bit of spice in there, to make sure it's not bland and something no one wants to hear again. So you spice it up. Well, we were kind of taking that pretty serious. Tom and I did the whole thing where we overpacked the flash pot pretty tight with black powder, and it was black powder. And man, we set the thing off, and I swear it made I don't know why we didn't have the cops called on us, or the fire department didn't come out or something. But I mean, it was loud, and it shook the doors of our deck in our apartment. We put the bomb on the deck on the balcony, and we went inside. We shut the door, which probably wasn't a good idea, but we hit the switch, and man, it just made this loud, gigantic kaboom. And this big cloud of smoke, and it took forever for the smoke to clear. And when it finally did, we noticed that our flash pot was gone. It was gone. It was just gone. So we went out. We went out into the yard to look for it, and man, the screw-on tube had flown probably about 20 feet out and was stuck in the ground. But the base that it screwed into and that housed the part of the device that would make the spark was just blown apart. It looked like a cartoon cigar. Just. And man, we probably paid, I don't know, man, we probably paid $60 for that. And this is the 80s, so $60. That was a lot to just drop and flush down the toilet the way we did. So I'm doing investigating, and this was years later. And I was thinking, man, surely there's something now that can do it. And guess what I found? And I'll tell you how I thought something like this would exist, because I was watching AC/DC live at the Charlotte Coliseum. The old Coliseum. I forgot what tour it was on. You might say, "Oh, that was about to." No, they do the cannons all the time. But I think it was Flick of the Switch, and they were doing the cannon gimmick. And I was sitting over by the stage. This is back in the day where you could walk around and go anywhere you wanted to go. And I just decided I wanted to sit at stage and look right at them from the side. And a curtain divided my view. And watch the guys push those cannons out there, and I don't know if one guy was controlling just his cannon or what he had was controlling both of them. But, you know, for those about to rock. And you see him there, he's got this switch, and, you know, he's dancing around to the music, and he's like, boom, and you see him push it, and he's, pow! So I'm looking, and I'm studying what this guy's doing, and I saw what was doing it. It was this thing on a stand that looked like a very small yet sturdy telescope. So I did some investigating, and I found out what it was. Man, it well, I don't know what that was, but something that I could obtain that was similar, and it was a device that farmers used to put in their cornfields. And it was run by air compressor. And I guess, you know, crows start landing in on your cornfield. And man, like you build up that air pressure, all of a sudden you hit this button, and it probably sounds like a 12-gauge shotgun going off. And I'm thinking, well, man, if we had 2 of those, I was like, I don't know, we put them beside the drums, you know, like that. I was just like, as if we were not making ourselves deaf enough as it was. We were going to figure out a way to just go ahead and just take care of it all. Oh, you want bad hearing? How about no hearing? Let's go that route. And ain't no telling what it would have done to people in the audience's ears, or man, those things could have caused structural damage. But I don't know what caused me to not get them. I guess I don't know. Maybe I just thought better of it. Maybe we don't need something that will rattle a club from wall to wall and ceiling to put a emphasis on the part of the show we're trying to emphasize. But I mean, it's not like Joe's guitar or whatever bass player playing, because you know, to keep up with Joe, to keep up with Walt, you got to play loud. Malcolm plays loud. We've always played loud. And I would say sometimes louder than most. Amy Lynn just summed up my entire story in 2 words. But you see, Amy, it's like when you watch a TV show and you figure things out before you sit through a 1-hour TV show, but you're like, well, if they'd taken care of that in the first 5 minutes, we wouldn't have a TV show. And that's what's going on here. Common sense. Maybe for once, or a few times maybe, in our early career, I decided to go ahead and use a little bit. Since I may have accrued some over all that time. Accrued a little common sense. See, sometimes I do think of things of Antiseen to talk about, but I still wish a lot of you would direct message me and let me know what you would like to hear about, because that's better than me sitting around trying to think of what you'd want to hear about, because a lot of stuff I just forget about. And I guess if we don't get this stuff down on record soon, the memory and the stories are going to be gone. Willie says he's about to go get him one of these caps. Well, Willie, there's 3 to get. You might need 1 for every occasion. Well, Clinton Zilla, you picked a heck of a time for me to talk about Bloody Mary. Because I can't just do that on the fly. I gotta stop and remember names that, you know, because Bloody Mary was a thrash metal band that is intertwined with Antiseen in some very deep ways. And you know what? Next time I do a break on through, I will tell you all about Bloody Mary. Just don't look in a mirror and say it 3 times and then turn the light on or off, however it works. I don't believe in that crap, but anyway. Morgan Prince wants to talk about Jethro Tull. Nah. All right. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Hey, all my Texas folks, especially around San Antonio town, this coming March, there's a big horror event happening there in your town called Mockingbird Lane. And my personal friend, Janice Blythe, is going to be in San Antonio live. So, man, I hope all of you San Antonio folk will go out there and meet her. That's Ruby from The Hills Have Eyes. And she knows all about Ruby, Get Back to the Hills. So get out there and impress her with your knowledge of a song that was written about her. I have more thorough information on that too when the time comes. Well, man, you know, here we are. Holiday weekend. Holiday weekend coming up. Week after that, an Antiseen double shot. Better than anything you got. So you might as well come on out and see what it's all about. Man, if you come see us in Charlotte, you're going to be in for a special treat now. Mr. Number 1, George South, is going to be performing with us live. We're bringing out the Destructo Divas. And who knows what's going to happen on stage when you got Jason Moss and the Hosses and Kelsey Ray Copeland all in one show. I'm thinking something's going to happen. And you need to be there to see it. Clintonzilla! Get the links! Now you might be saying, why are you going to post a link in there? We can't see it when it goes to YouTube, but I'm going to talk about it so you can go and watch it. Clintonzilla, I'd like you to go on YouTube and find Rush Limbaugh's The True Story of Thanksgiving and post it in here. And I would just like to say that I would go ahead and tell. I've been telling people this all day. I just told you, Clinton. I've been telling people all day that do not be ashamed or afraid to tell people that you care about that you are thankful for them. I'm telling every one of you that's in here with me tonight. I'm telling everyone that's watching it later. Watching it in a couple days. Maybe you're going to watch it on Thanksgiving Day when you're sitting around stuffed. But I'm thankful for everybody that listens, drops in. I'm thankful for every Antiseen fan that ever been, that is now, and ever will be. It's the fact that you're still around, that you still care about what we say and do, that that keeps us going. Wensil, that link ain't live again. What's going on there? But I am thankful. I'm thankful for my family. I am thankful for... Man, I'm thankful for every band member that's ever played in this band, even the ones I don't care for anymore. Still thankful for them. They played a part. And I would think that without them playing that part, we would not have ended up where we are now. I'm thankful for my church family. They have made a difference in my life like you'd never believe. I'm thankful for my partner, Steve Wensil. All my close friends like Jeff Williams. And I'm thankful for old JP over at Repo Record. Don't be afraid to tell the people you love you're thankful for them. And with that, I will leave here saying I hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I have gotten so many blessings this week. And I got one before we came on the air from Clinton Zilla himself. He's done something recently that had really pulled on the heartstrings of old JC. I'm going to post it later if you don't mind, Clinton. You just let me know if you want to do it, you can. All right. You know what I'm going to say? I love you. God loves you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And I will see you here in 2 weeks on Break On Through. But in the middle of that is those two shows. Wilmington on December 5th. Charlotte on December 6th. I want to see you all there. We are going to have a good, old-fashioned, like Grandma used to make, down-home good time. You hear me? Later, folks.